Hey!
Hi.
Welcome back to another episode of Soaps and Sass. I am Mama Sass.
And I am Bubba Sass.
Very excited to be here with you this week. November Sweeps continues. Woo! What a week. Oh, I don't know. There was a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah,
and I didn't like many of them, but...
I'll say part of the beginning was great. Fridays was better. The middle of the week was not great.
Okay, well, I'm going to make it sound more exciting than it was. How about that?
All right.
Okay, let's get right into a recap. This is episode 43, the week of November 10th to 17th. Sunny started the week pleading with Michael to ease up on Willow, but Michael pulled a couple of moves no one expected.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep. Ultimately foiling Nina's plan.
Then I was technically right. That the beginning of the week was good, because I forgot about that.
Yep. So, he foiled Nina's plan, but what he did might shift the entire custody battle if Willow can spin it just right. I don't think she can, but you never know. Meanwhile, Brooklyn was rattled by jarring news about her husband, and Chase laid out his plan to save Willow in an attempt to play it straight with his wife because she was quite cross with him, and they eventually came to a compromise. Portia dropped a confession about her whereabouts on the night of the shooting that, in my opinion, will certainly come back to bite her in the behind.
Oh, agreed.
Right? Things turned darker fast when Emma and Gio stumbled upon Ned having an apparent heart attack in the patio of Bobby's. Gio helped him, and Emma raced to get Bitt to help. They sped off to the hospital where Charlotte, Rocco, and Danny learned what happened, and in trying to distract them, Bitt gave them the opportunity they needed to steal her key fob to the lab at PCU. Lulu, in the meantime, opened up to Olivia about her fears regarding Rocco and Bitt, and Olivia told Lulu that she was right to be concerned as Bitt is not to be trusted, having no idea
that this woman is saving her husband's life.
Exactly right. Now, midweek brought some major shocks. So Rocco sacrificed himself to protect his siblings from being caught by Dalton, which led to his arrest. Laura left the debate, the mayoral debate that she was at, to go to the PCPD with him. Jason and Bitt were interrupted by Charlotte and Danny, who went for his help to save Rocco. And when Emma and Gio found out what happened, they went to Sunny for help, and he sent Rick to represent Rocco.
That he did?
He did, because now Rick wants to get back into Sunny's good graces. Don't know what that's about, but okay.
Keep playing him.
Drew tried muscling Alexis into compliance by pointing the finger at Michael. And to do that, he sent Martin to help her because he knew she wasn't going to do it. When Alexis explained her strategy to Martin, he went off about his business. He was like, yeah, you good. Dante was installed as the interim police commissioner, and his first order of business was to reinstate Nathan. Bitt went for Sidwell with teeth bared and told him to get Dalton under control. But unfortunately, Bitt and half of Port Charles's worst fears were confirmed when Justine Turner amended the charges at the arraignment, and Rocco ended up being remanded into custody until his bail hearing.
Question is, custody to where? For he is a minor. He cannot go to Bentonville.
Well, that's it. He's probably going off to juvie or something, but they didn't really say.
Right?
So maybe we'll see more of that on Monday. Let me finish. I'm almost done.
Fine.
I'm almost done. Trina and Jordan clashed hard, and Sidwell turned on the charm with Ava because, now they're family, and so, of course, Sidwell's going to turn on the charm. What else is he going to do? And lastly, and certainly not even remotely importantly, Liz and Carly, separately, were shocked by the news that Lucas is moving to Windermere. Joss back Lucas, further alienating her mother. That is the week that was.
Alrighty. Where you want to start?
You know what? I mean, I really struggled with the categories this week because I was like, there was a lot going on. I don't know that any of it fell into any categories. But, yeah, we can start with comedy moment of the week, unless you want to go into the bail hearing right away, because you had something to say just now, so we can talk about that off the hop.
Alright. Because it also, I guess it'll tie into what had me hot.
Alright.
So, yeah. Because I was saying how Rocco gets remanded into custody, but it's like, where are we sending him? Are we just going to leave him to sit in the PCBD prison because he can't go to Pentonville? He's a minor. And if there is a juvie, y'all introducing a juvie? Because I've never known of a character to go to juvie. And, like, I don't, like, it's, well, as far as I'm aware, they have not mentioned a juvie by name, so it's not like we have Pentonville, which is the prison for Port Charles, right. Steinmauer, which is the prison in
for the hardened right? world criminals.
Exactly. So I'm like, are we getting a new prison location? There's Ferncliff for the mentally disturbed.
Right.
So I'm like, give us a name for this juvie if there's a juvie. Don't just say he's remanded into custody.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they'll pull something back from the 80s. I can't imagine that half those kids didn't go to juvenile detention back then. But anyway.
Even still, my point still stands.
Yeah, but I don't know. But that whole thing was just
wrong.
I almost said comedic, but it wasn't funny.
It wasn't.
But yeah.
Especially Rocco's outburst at the end. Like, that was heartbreaking to watch. Because, like, oh, that poor boy.
Well, this is it. The whole thing.
And it's
right?
going to be worse because Danny's going to feel bad. Like, oh my goodness, Gio and Emma are going to feel worse than they already are. And they're really going to be told, keep your damn mouth shut.
Well, that's where I was going to go back to, right? Because the whole plan was that they were going to try to get the key fob, and that's all they were supposed to do and hand it off to Emma and Gio. But for the fact that Ned had the heart attack. So Emma was like, the whole thing's off.
Mm-hmm.
They went ahead anyways.
Right.
Right? I mean, out of all of the younger teens, let's call it the under 18 teens,
mm-hmm.
right? Rocco is the sweetest of the lot, which was blatantly evident by his absolute panic and terror in the courtroom. Even Justine had a look on her face like, ooh, I done messed up.
You think?
And that's even before she looked at Sonny, who was like, lady!
Yeah, because Sonny gave her a cut eye, man. Cut eye. Laura's like, Laura said to this man, our grandson has been framed. And he gave a side cut eye to Justine, being like, how dare you? It's like, I know this is your job, but excuse me?
Right. So this is also what had me hot along with you, because I don't understand how Justine, as the ADA, amends the charges on the fly like that without having any kind of evidence to back it up. She just did that on Dalton Say So?
Yes, apparently.
Like, how ridiculous is that? That makes no sense.
Right, because even as Rick pointed out to the judge, it's like, why are we punishing this poor kid for something that the ADA didn't do? Like, they didn't get the police to investigate. They didn't get any reports.
I was so glad, right?
Dalton didn't come forward and, give his statement. She's just coming in now saying we need the deal's off the table. We're amending the charges, and that's it.
Yep, and I think the judge was wrong to say no. We're going to remand him to custody. He's like, yeah, that's an argument you can make at trial. Okay, we'll send the kid home. Let them figure it out. I'll make the argument at trial, but figure him out.
Right? It's like what? Like, this kid has no priors. Why are we remanding him into custody?
Right?
He's a minor. He has no priors.
His mother's the mayor. His father's his grandmother's the mayor. His father's the police commissioner. Hello?
Right?
Who's gonna...
Right? And yes, sure. Yes. And
then again.
And Justine pointed this out. It's like, yes, he has, a thing for intoxication, but that's not his fault. No one and
it's not a crime.
It's not a crime. It's just he overdrank. Yes, he was a minor, but it's not like, the police came by because the party was, really out of control, mm-hmm. open containers, and they're just like, they happen to see Rocco highly intoxicated and figure out he's a minor because, they know his dad. None of that happened.
No, but what I do like that she looped back to that. Like, I like that callback to things that we all know happened.
Mm.
So it's like, yeah, what she's trying to say is this child is out of control, which I suppose is fair, because, here I am making a point about his grandmother's the mayor and his father's the police commissioner, or a decorated detective, either way. Well, then why is this kid breaking and entering?
Right.
And so it's just the repercussions. What I like is the writers are on fire this month. Like, even leading up to November sweeps, I don't know if they changed the writing staff, but they're getting more and more creative. I don't know if they're using AI to help them with their stories, because they're bringing some stuff in, and the possibilities for outcomes and new stories are really, really interesting. Like, I'm excited about it. Hopefully they don't screw it up.
Agreed. But so I'm gonna go into like the thing that actually had me hot, because it wasn't specifically Rocco and his getting arrested and the charges and all that. It was very specifically Dalton when he finds Rocco in his lab, and rather than saying, like he's angry justifiably, but rather than him saying, like, come on, we're gonna go, like, like, your grandmother's here, so we're gonna go talk to her or whatever, like, he grabs him up by, like, the
braced him up.
I was gonna say the skin of his teeth. He grabbed him by the
scruff of his neck.
Thank you, the scruff of his neck, or in the case, the scruff of his jacket, and then starts manhandling him out the door. And while doing that, at some point, grabs his arm and twists it behind his back so he can't run off. And I'm like, sir. And Laura was right. Get your hands off her grandchild. Like, what are you doing? Like, a hand, like, a reasonably gripped hand on the shoulder, a firm hand on the shoulder is enough. You don't have to choke him out by his hood. You don't have to twist up and break his arm. Like, where's he gonna go? He's been caught. Like, oh, this man. I haven't liked this man since he came on the scene.
And across campus. No, because he came on smarmy. He's supposed to be smarmy.
And again,
so he's playing his role well.
I will say, I'm like, I hate actors who can play roles like this really well, because then I can never look at them the same ever again. And I always have to remember, it's like, if the actor is playing a character that is so detestable that you end up hating the actor, it means they did their job well. Really well. But the problem is, it's like, you have to remember to separate the actor from the character, because the actor is not the character. But it's just really, really tough, because again, they did their job really well.
See, for me, that's James Franco. James Franco came on and he was playing Franco before Roger Howard, and he freaked me out so bad. I cannot watch him in anything else. Like, I watched him in Freaks and Geeks when he was younger, and it was like, okay, he's cute and adorable, but
you couldn't do it.
His portrayal as James Franco
just
lined up. As Robert Franco, rather, not he is James Franco. His portrayal of the character Franco lined up with who I thought he might be in real life. Like, it was believable, way too believable. So I every time I see him, I get completely creeped out. You know, similarly with Cameron Matheson, right? And I've said this here on the podcast. Like, I don't know what it is about the man, but my spirit does not take to him. I recognize he's not his character,
but
it ain't working for me. And I've seen him on his game show, The Bridge, and my lip still curls. And even before he was Drew, when he was on All My Children or whatever other soap it was, I just
like.
My spirit does not take to this man. I don't know why.
Right? And it's like, so this week was the 20th anniversary for Dancing with the Stars. Or this past week, I should say. And, like, on Facebook, the crew had posted photos of, like, former stars who had been on the show and all that stuff. And I was scrolling through because I was like, oh yeah, this is so cool. And Cameron Matheson was there. And I was like, I had to cringe. I'm like, why? Why is he here? I'm like, I would put Kelly Monaco, put
Ingo Rademacher.
Right, put any other of the soap opera stars that you've had. The fact
John O'Hurley.
Right, the fact that it was Cameron Matheson, that it was, I was like, I cringed so hard. And they're like... Maybe
they weren't there.
Right? And, like, I have to go to the comments, and even the people in the comments were like, I can't escape this man, referring to Drew, and just, and it was just, like, nice to see that other people were just like, ugh. But it was just
wow.
But it was just like, oh my gosh, no, for real, I can't escape this man. And it's just like, send him away. Just
indeed. So yeah, Dalton, huh?
Yeah, he. Ooh, but yeah, the guy. I was telling this to Mom earlier. I don't know what Dalton is trying to achieve by, you know, making the charges worse for Rocco, because he said, like, he said to Sidwell, when Sidwell's like, oh, just drop this, he's like, no, I want to make the mayor pay for embarrassing me. And I'm like, embarrassing for what? The only people who saw you was the mayor, Boyle, and a bunch of stagehands in the back. Like, none of the students or any of the other, you know, residents of Port Charles saw you. Like, what embarrassment are you talking about? Like, what is this going to achieve for you? Like, what are you going to accomplish? What are you going to get, like, for having this kid arrested for snooping around your lab? He didn't break anything. He didn't cause any damage. He didn't, you know, just hand off trade secrets to anybody. You just found him in there, and like, and now you're coming in less than 24 hours later saying there's damage to my lab and so instead of community service, the kid is going to go through a trial? Are you insane? And also, if this is the case, why didn't you, get a statement written by the police, and your statement, which actually apparently was given to the police, wasn't anything crazy. You come in later and say, no, there was extensive damage. It's like, if there was, you would have said so to the mayor, to her face, as Laura stated to Sunny. You would have said that in your statement, and you would have, you would have, come into the police station with them. You wouldn't have stayed back in your lab. Like, the campus security would have gone and investigated. There should have been pictures. There should have been proof of this destruction. There's nothing. And if there is something now, it's because you caused the damage. And I know you were also upset because he talking about, like, I have dangerous chemicals and stuff that could cause bodily harm to people. And you're like, why do you have dangerous chemicals on a campus?
It wasn't bodily harm. It was loss of life, is what they said.
Either way.
Loss of life. What the woody woo.
That's still having facts.
If as a parent I would sue, listen. Okay.
So that was my first rant. There will be another.
Okay, so I'm going to take a pause here. I'm going to go to what we have been calling comedy of the moment of the week.
Okay.
Do you have one?
No.
Okay, then I'm going to amend it. Instead of comedy, I'm going to call it the cute moment of the week.
Okay.
Which was Donna. She was so freaking adorable when Justine showed up at their door with her car had broken down, flat tire down the road. And she was like, Miss Turner, you're a mess. How can we help you? And then, practically brought her a warm beverage and a cloth to clean up the grease and everything. She was so... Oh, no, she didn't bring her a hot beverage.
I was about to say she brought her a glass of milk that she says, I brought to share.
I know.
Donna,
but
you mean the cookies or the milk? Because the cookies, yes, you brought enough to share. You brought a glass of milk, sweetheart. What milk? How you sharing? How you sharing that milk?
She was such a lovely hostess. I thought that was so adorable.
It was adorable.
It was. And I don't think I mentioned this previously.
Nope.
But I'm going to mention it now.
As you should.
Is that the actress that plays Donna, Scarlett Hernandez, is playing Glinda the younger.
Yeah. Child Glinda in the second movie coming out this weekend.
Do you want to say the name of the movie?
Wicked for Good.
Okay. So, yeah, keep an eye out for her. She looks adorable. She's blonde.
Yeah.
It's wild. So good on Miss Hernandez for
expanding her craft.
Yeah, landing a role in a big movie. Brilliantly done. Moving on to Make It Make Sense.
This might be where my second rant comes in.
There's so much.
But where would you want to start? Because I'm like,
I have a few.
Because I'm like, if this is where I'm going to rant, then as best I would go second.
No, I don't know that you're going to rant on either of the two that I have noted. So the first one, Dante as commissioner. Now, I'm going to start with kudos to the writers because there's a couple things that they did this week, but they quickly explained it.
They did.
With their with my what I call my throwaway lines. So, okay. But Dante was installed as commissioner. I'm sure many of you like me were like, what the? Because the appearance, oh my goodness, the possibilities of appearance of
the PR
bias and impropriety and all that is just ridiculous.
And the thing is, Laura knew that. Yes. He even said that. That Boyle's going to use it against her.
Well, this is why I was super happy, right? Because they explained it and Laura's like, I'll deal with the optics. You worry about doing the job. Ezra called her out on it. It's like, what are you doing? And she was like, okay, well, yes, I went to hire Mac, but Mac is out of town. Mm-hmm. He's got to deal with Maxie. So Dante's the next senior deserving person.
And with the help of Martin, she gave that explanation really well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, okay, thank you, because his viewers had to know. So many of us were going to clock that and go, what the woody woo? Yep. So that's my first one.
Okay.
You want me to go into my second one, or you want to go to yours?
No, go to your second one.
Okay, my second one is Rick making amends with Sunny.
Tu es confundido.
Yeah, I am very confused. I'm not sure if Rick is sincere in what he's doing, and if so, why. I mean, because again, writers came with the explanation. He's like, I had this recent experience.
Yep.
And
That ayahuasca.
I can only imagine that Christina was the one who relayed that to Sonny, because why would he know? But anyways, yeah, so he says, I had this experience and I'm realizing that, life is too short to go around with these grudges and whatever. So, I know you have no reason to trust me, but I would really like to, represent you legally in some way, shape, or form. Diane's got whatever, she's too busy, got conflict of interest. I can't remember what he said there.
Right.
But in any case, so then when Rocco got arrested, he's like, okay, here, make it good. Now, I'm just hoping, right, because Sonny's reasonable. As much as I don't like Sonny, he is reasonable, and it was clear that Rick was blindsided in court. So I'm like hoping he doesn't hold that against Rick in any way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Particularly as Rick was unable to get Rocco remanded to his parents' custody.
He did try.
Yes, he did try. Absolutely try, but he didn't succeed.
I will say though, it is funny how like the first time like Rick and Sonny show, like they're at the courthouse and then Rocco comes in and he's like, Rocco, this is my brother Rick. You mean his uncle?
His great uncle. But
either way, this is your Uncle Rick. Like, Rocco, have you never met your Uncle Rick?
No. They've never had any reason to interact, as far as I know.
I'm shocked and surprised.
Because it's not like we see Rocco interacting with Molly and them.
Fair enough, but I'm like, you're still family. Like, jeez.
Like he barely interacts with his Aunt Christina, so.
Like, I'm like, at least like a mention, so it's like, this is your Uncle Rick. It's like, oh yeah,
no.
Like,
I mean, Rocco can do that math.
Just. I'm
and
like,
really,
these people just don't know their family members, even if their family
but
members are in town. It's so
here's the
weird.
other thing. Here's the other thing. Yes, okay, Sonny says this is my brother, but they're not close.
That's fine.
There's no familial tie, so why would he try to establish that familial tie between Rick and Rocco, saying this is your great uncle?
No, you don't.
That would
have
suggest you were trying to make a link.
I'm just saying,
Nope.
it's like I see these things in these shows, and it's like, y'all just. I get this is a soap opera, but I also understand that sometimes these things are supposed to seem a little bit more real. Like it's taking place in real life. And it's just like, y'all weird.
No, because I could tell you categorically, there are people in my family that I know are family, and I would not introduce them to you as your family.
Huh?
In the sense, like I can think of aunts and uncles I have that I'm not close with at all. Barely know. Like I know they're my aunt because they're related to one of my parents. And I don't think I would say, this is your aunt so-and-so. I would say, this is my aunt. It's like, if you want her as your aunt, you can establish that relationship, but... Right, where saying, this is your aunt, is it kind of like, the subtext is, I'm saying, quotes, expecting you to respect or honor that familial tie. And since I don't have that kind of relationship, I don't see why I should require that of you. That's how I see it.
Interesting.
That's how I see it.
Interesting.
But I do hear your point.
All right.
Absolutely. So, what is your make it make sense?
Okay. It was one of my had me hots, but it's also a make it make sense because so I'll put it at 50-50 for each. It's a what had me hot because I'm like, girl, you are just like your idiot mama. But it's a make it make sense because it's like, were you not listening to this woman when you were having your conversation? And to give context as to what I'm referring to, Trina and Jordan. Because...
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd talk about Willow.
No.
Okay.
No.
Trina and Jordan.
That might come in later.
Go ahead.
So, Jordan, Sidwell, and Marco show up at the gallery. Trina's a little distracted because she's like, my parents are getting divorced, yada, yada, yada. So they show up, and Trina's like, so Jordan, why are you here? Like, the woman doesn't work for Sidwell, so it makes sense that she would be there with him for whatever work purposes. But she's like, but Jordan says, oh, I figured I'd come get some art for my new place. So Trina's like, sure, I'll show you some pieces that I think there's one you'll like. So they go off. And once they're off and looking at pieces, Trina basically drops the nicey-nicey act, and it's like, okay, Jordan, like, I'm so sick of you. Like, you're the reason my parents are getting divorced. And Jordan's like, excuse me, you little girl. Who you think you talking to? And even I'm here like, who you think you talking to? Like, because seriously, I'm like, you like, and Trina even acknowledges that they had a conversation, and Trina asked Jordan, to step aside and let her parents figure it out. And Jordan even said, hey, like, ever since your parents got together, I have not done anything to interfere with their relationship. Like, sure, optics are not great. It's like, your father and I have been friends. Your father and I were married. Like, we've known each other for a long time. That relationship is still there, but I have never once tried to insinuate myself in their relationship. Well, let me phrase that. I have not once tried to interfere with their relationship purposefully, essentially, is what she says.
Mm-hmm.
If they're breaking up, it's for reasons of their own. I.e., Trina's mother can't tell the truth to save her life. Lying is her default. So, the fact that Trina is coming in and attacking Jordan because she blames Jordan for their marriage breaking up is like, you are just as stupid as your mama. Because you just putting the blame on people, and it's like, no, how about you look towards yourself? And in Trina's case, it's like, how about you look towards your mama, who lied to your father multiple times, and all in the name of protecting you. So, like, don't blame Portia. I mean, blame Portia. Don't blame Jordan, because Jordan, yes, she, like, Trina stated something about, like, you're coming after my father. You've been in love, always been in love with my father. Like, yeah. She still is in love with your father, but has she once ever tried to seduce your father? Has she once ever tried to be like, hey,
yes, she did. Which is what Portia clocked at the door when Jordan was like, "I'm not gonna wait till you're divorced to kiss you."
Well, no, okay, but in the sense of when their marriage was strong, their marriage is crumbling. She's not done anything. Still.
Okay, go on.
But it's not like she has not walked up to
she's not swishing her hips every time Curtis
she's
walks
not
by.
Pulling a Mariah Reynolds. There you go. She's not pulling a Mariah Reynolds.
Okay.
She's actively like, your marriage is crumbling. I see your marriage is crumbling. We will not do anything in the sense of, we will not, go out into public kissing. We will not sleep together. We will not officially be together until your marriage is official. I'm like, you want to kiss the man? The man could have said no. Let's actually wait till the papers are signed. He could have said no.
He already said he wasn't gonna.
Exactly. But anyway, my point is that Trina is an idiot woman, idiot child, like her mama, and is putting on blame on people, and just, she vexed me.
That's fine. That's fair. And I have that same scene under Make It Sassy, because
I know you do.
And it's so funny because her and Jocelyn rather. Yeah, it's really interesting to watch, and it's not something I'm sure that I myself have done. In that, as you said, now they're women, they're over 18, they're grown.
Yep.
And they're like just stepping into that womanhood, and it's like, I'm your equal now. Right, which is really interesting, because when you were like, little girl, who are you talking to? And so it was just the way she just felt so comfortable and free to, like you said, drop the facade and call Jordan out.
The thing that pissed me off, though, is she also said the thing that, it's like, see, I'm my daddy's little girl, and he always listens to me. And I was like, girl, shut up. Yeah, you might be his little girl, but that don't mean he'll always listen to you. Like, yes, he'll listen to you, but he won't do what you say in terms of, in that sense of listening to you. No, he wants to be with Jordan. He's not gonna not be with her just because you said so. Like,
agreed.
Like, no.
But
girl, shut up. I want to smack you. In fairness, I've wanted to smack you for a long time, but now I really want to smack you.
No, but I want to give these two ladies their props, though, because seriously, that scene for me was so very authentic in the hypocritical nicey from Trina, which she then drops, right? And she was like, oh, I think you might like this piece over here. Okay, now we're alone. Let me drop the act. Lady, check yourself. And Jordan was like, in response originally, oh, this is such a beautiful piece. So when Trina came at her, she went from, this is such a beautiful piece, to, excuse me? And the whole tone change was so spot on, because I was like, the same thing I was hearing on my couch, like, what? Who's you? Boy. So kudos to the actresses. I think y'all delivered your lines brilliantly there. Loved it. Do you have another way? Make it make sense? Or that's it?
No, that's it.
All right. Qu'est-ce
Jessica is Willow.
Okay.
Because my girl goes to the Metro Court
Mm-hmm.
and she sees Wiley and Jacinda and Michael sitting there eating some lovely, lovely sundaes. And she says to Drew later on, I saw them sitting there like a pseudo family and I tried to leave, but then Wiley spotted me. I'm like, girl, you didn't try to leave. You stood there.
Well, she was frozen in shock.
No, but she's like, I tried to keep it together and leave before he saw me. That was a bull-faced lie. You did not. Because when the camera panned back to you, Wiley's head had turned. You hadn't moved from that spot.
She was frozen in shock.
Yeah, but so much so that she's like, I need to leave and doesn't even turn her body.
Well, when you're frozen in shock, no. You don't turn your body. Your brain is like, move your leg. What's a leg? So, yeah, but I hear you. I hear you. My Kessakaka is gonna go to Stella Henry.
Oh my, no, please.
Oh,
no. Sorry. That wasn't a, no, please don't do it. That was a, no, please go on.
Oh.
There was a comma.
Oh.
There was a comma after that, no.
Okay, because Stella, man alive. First of all,
Out of pocket.
oh, so out of pocket. But how are you inserting yourself in people's business? Never mind, we understand. This is what she do. This is her character. But they, she's mad that they didn't tell her that they're expecting a baby. This should be your first clue to shut your pie hole. Why are you speaking? If they didn't tell you, there's a reason.
And then she goes on about like, how you not tell me da 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 da, and it's like they didn't tell Trina. Trina doesn't know, so why should they tell you?
Right. Well, this is number one. Then when Curtis proceeds to tell you they're getting divorced, she's like, "Oh no, you're not," and that's like, okay, Stella, hold up.
I'm like, you are the
half a minute.
I'm like, Stella, you are the matriarch of the family. You are the wise one, and you are pulling some dumb crap out of your mouth right now.
This is it. It's like this whole premise of keep a marriage together for the children, or a child will fix whatever problems you're having in your marriage.
That is such BS.
I was like, what is the message we are sending here?
That is such BS.
Wow.
You need to do what's good for the child, and if that's being divorced, that's being divorced. The baby hasn't even been born yet. Like, by the time the baby, like, y'all can get divorced, the baby will be born, the baby will never, it's not like the baby will have grown up in a house together with you guys and then experience the pain of you guys splitting up. It's not like that. The baby will grow up knowing that their parents are not together.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
this is it. The one thing she did say that I thought she was on the money for, though, even in all of her madness, was, okay, so you have about 6 or 7 months to go to counseling and get it sorted out. So, if you're saying, hold off on the divorce, be separated, and try to work it out, great.
That's true, because they've been trying to work it out themselves, and like, no, y'all might need some professional help, especially you, Portia.
But yeah, but to say don't get divorced or live in the same house or whatever she's suggesting,
no,
because that's the message I got, was like, no, y'all need to figure this out, and y'all gonna stay in the same house. You're gonna fix this mess and suck it up, Buttercup. In order so that wow, that's a bad formulated sentence. In order for you to see your child on the regular and be present in your child's life, that message is a big no as far as I'm concerned.
No, it's like
I'm not here for. I do believe in making every effort to fix your marriage. I recognize this is a soap opera, but I'm concerned about the messaging that they're putting out there.
I agree, because I'm like, if my marriage is not working out and I'm miserable and it's like I can't trust them, why would I stay in a house for a child and go through the pain and suffering of that, which is going to make it so much more difficult and for my child and themselves, because they're going to see me not happy being with their father, and they're gonna think it's their fault, and it's like, and the thing that breaks my heart is, to an extent, and I'm not saying it is, but to an extent, like, like, it kind of is, because it's like, they're like, I'm going to stay for them. And it's like, but you shouldn't. Like,
No.
if you want to do what's best for them, do not stay. You're gonna be in a healthier place mentally. You're gonna be in a healthier place physically to do the things you need to do for your child, and you're gonna give your child a better place and a safer place to grow up in, than being surrounded by negativity and hostility and just no.
Yeah, and there are some couple, like, I know when I was growing up, there were some of my friends had parents who did not divorce. Were living in the same house, but it was clear they were living separate lives.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I mean, that's also possible. I don't know how they made it work. Like, if they wanted to date or whatever.
Right.
I don't know how that would work. And maybe they didn't want to date. You know?
Right. But in this case involving Portia and Curtis, that it can't work. Especially with Portia's jealousy towards Jordan.
So
that could
ridiculous.
Never work. That could never work.
You don't want a man. You don't want to treat the man properly, but you don't want to let him go, and you have already laid down with somebody else, and then you want to keep noise when his eye turns. Come on,
it's like you can't have you cannot have your cake and eat it too. It's one or the other.
So
especially in this case, you can't be mad that your husband has decided to end your marriage and is looking elsewhere, but isn't acting on it. But you here recognizing your marriage is over, and you're like, you know what? No, go be free. Go be with the woman you actually want. Turn around, sleep with someone else, but get mad when he actually is with the other person that you say go be with.
But in fairness, Curtis is out of order, because your marriage ain't even done. You already looking for the next woman? Stop, sir. Stop. That is nonsense.
I'm going to hold back a comment, because that is I'm like, well,
okay.
That's
well, then we'll just move on. We will just move on. What'd you do that for? Who called for that?
Not Ned. Oh my goodness, what's Francis' name? Drew. But then again, that was last week, so it doesn't really count. Because I was going to say it for the boxes.
That was this week. That was Monday. That's what led to Ned's heart attack.
I thought that was
Monday.
Oh, I thought.
And trust me when I tell you, because I was sitting here rewatching the episodes as I was going through. Because I was like,
okay.
how did this happen? That was Monday.
Okay, then yeah, Drew for taking the boxes and leading to Ned's heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, dude, what the... And then the fact you're like, oh my god, really, Ned, you're faking a heart attack? I'm like, what if he's not?
And it turns out he wasn't.
Right? Because great, you're going to hear the news, and you're going to be like...
He's not. He's not going to be like nothing.
No. Well, that's true, he's not. But imagine.
At most, he'll be like, well, that's a shame.
Right, but imagine, like, yes, I know Willow is kind of like, oh, these people, they don't, but she to an extent still has a little compassion, so maybe she might be like, he was having a heart attack and you left him there? It's like, I thought he was faking. I don't know how she would know.
Unless Ned wakes up and says something.
I'm like, she's good at, well, here's the thing. I'm like, she's likely... How am I wording this? Because Lucy's going to find out. Yeah.
How is Lucy going to find out?
Because Brooklyn. And Lucy knows everything. Like, Lucy...
Okay.
Lucy finds information out somehow.
So you jumped into the prediction portion of the call. Let's go.
Lucy will find out...
Uh-huh.
How she will...
I'm going to blow holes in this, but go on.
No, that's fine. I'm trying to find how she would end up getting that information to Nina... But somehow, some way, that information is going to get to Nina.
You working too hard to make that happen. It's not going to happen.
Either way, I think Willow will find out somehow. Hell, she might find out from Elizabeth.
Willow works at the hospital. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, that's like, hell, she might find out from Elizabeth. Then relay that to Drew. And Drew might be like, oh, so he was actually having a heart attack. And Willow might be like, what do you mean he was actually having a heart attack? You were there when he was... It's like, I thought he was faking. Regardless of whether you thought he was faking or not, you should still call the ambulance. Like, what the... Because seriously...
I don't think that's going to make a difference, because you know what? Drew has power.
He does. But I'm just like, seriously though, unless someone has a history of faking a heart attack...
Yeah,
no. But even then, even if they do have a history of faking it, still call 911. Because like, yeah, the boy who cried wolf, eventually, there was actually a wolf. No one believed him, but there was eventually a wolf.
if that part of the story ends up on screen where Willow finds out and has any kind of reaction towards Drew, color me surprised. I don't see that making it anywhere into the story. I really don't. This is not going to be the thing that turns her against Drew.
No, I don't think it will either. But still, it's like,
yeah, I don't think so. But yeah.
I feel like I had another thought in there somewhere, and I lost it. Also, I know Drew was very delulu for whatever he said to Willow, but
yeah. Okay, so since we've gone into a little bit of predictions based on what you just said, I'm going to follow that train of thought because it does kind of tie into my "What'd you do that for? Who called for that?" where it's like, what are the writers doing? I don't understand. And so it kind of goes into my predictions for things to come, because a lot of these things for me are just blatant plot points and not anything logical. There's like no rhyme or reason.
Okay.
So one of my predictions, and there was rhyme or reason for this, was Felicia talking to Portia and Portia talking about how she was on call the night of Drew's shooting.
Right.
So the way I see this playing out, because Felicia's gonna go back to Alexis and be like, Portia says she was on call, but the evidence is that she finished at 8:00.
Which she might have already told her. Like,
yeah, I think she told somebody.
She called Alexis saying, yeah, Portia was not where she said she was at the time of the accident.
Right.
Or her alibi doesn't check out, which is fine, but doesn't give her the explicit details.
No, exactly. So since they can't validate Portia's alibi, I think she's going to end up being put on the stand at trial. And while she's on the stand, she will be compelled to confess that she was actually with Isaiah.
Which is what we were saying last time.
Yes, but I don't think we're saying it on the podcast. I think we were saying it to each other.
No, we said it on the podcast.
Did we?
We did.
Oh, then I apologize to the listeners for repeating myself.
But go on. Sometimes you gotta restate it.
Yes, so she'll be compelled to confess that she was with Isaiah, which will lead to them figuring out that maybe Curtis is not the father of the child, also blowing up her relationship with Trina, because
I hope so.
Oh, because it needs to be.
I hope so because honestly, I'm mad that when Trina found out that Taggart wasn't her father, she was not as mad, or she didn't stay mad at her mom as long as
it didn't work for the story.
No. Yeah. So that relationship between Trina and Portia, I'm always an advocate for, you know, certain family relationships to get better. Like I am for like Nina and Willow and Gio and Brooklyn. But this relationship needs to break. This relationship needs to shatter. They need a falling out that takes years to get back, because I cannot with their relationship right now. I cannot.
No, that's fine. That's fair.
I honestly feel bad for people who have such bad relationships with their parents, but when people tend to explain their relationships and why their relationships aren't great or what was the cause of it, that I'm like, no, actually no, in this case I can understand why that relationship's not great. If you and your parent were in a room together, I wouldn't advocate for you guys to, you know, sit down and have it out and all that. Like, no, I can understand and I wouldn't push you on that.
Right.
In this case, no. In order for their relationship to get better and to be in a healthier place, their relationship needs to break, because especially right now, Trina is taking after her mother in attitude. And it's just like, granted, Trina's probably always been that way, but I'm not liking it because she's being very disrespectful to people she should not be disrespectful to.
Agreed. Okay, my other prediction is with respect to Rocco's now proper arrest and detention.
Detainment? Okay.
Detention. Detainment.
Detained. He's been detained. Also, I will give props to Nathan for saying I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that.
I like that too. So where I think this is gonna go.
Does this also involve Sidwell? And what?
Yes.
Okay, I just had to ask.
Yes, it does. So because this is bad.
It is.
Right. So one way or the other, Dalton's gonna get his comeuppance. I think we're about to see the end of Dalton.
I've been saying this man is gonna go missing.
He's gotta, And so it'll go a couple of ways, right? Because one thing that Sidwell pointed out to Dalton, and Dalton don't want to hear, is that you don't want the cops in the lab.
No.
So now that Rocco's been detained, like
you've drawn attention to the lab.
Exactly. Justine has to save face, has to go and do a proper investigation. So Sidwell's going to take him out for having brought the attention, is what I think. And if not Sidwell, then he better watch out for Bitt, because Bitt's going to deal with his tail in a way.
I will say, I like the comment that Bitt made when she went to the police station to see Nathan, and she's like, I had to talk down our mother from coming down here. Because Obrecht was ready to go down to the police station and cuss people out.
Oh, was she?
She was.
Oh, I missed that line.
She was.
Okay, well, see, another throwaway line that explains why she isn't there. I like that. I missed it, though.
I remember my comedy now. Because Nathan had made a comment to Bitt about being, if anyone can find a lab, it's our mother.
Yeah.
That was good.
True.
That
was true.
Anyway, proceed.
Yes. So I'm assuming that it's actually going to be Sidwell that'll deal with Dalton, because he can see how to spin that to make it look like Sonny do him something, and then Sonny ends up getting blamed, arrested, whatever. He's now implicated in too many things. There's the judge, then Dalton, because his grandson, and it'll mess with Laura as well, and whatever, if ever she wins the election by some
miracle.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a miracle, because people aren't stupid. Anyone can see that Boyle is smarmy. So
right, and also this hasn't been an issue, it hasn't been a major issue since Laura became mayor, and Laura's been mayor for however many years now. So it's like, why start now?
Right. So that's what I think is going to happen there. And the other prediction I have, or the question I have that I think we're going to see play out, is Rick's master plan.
Oh, against Alexis.
Yeah, because it was a little bit out of left field that he went to Sunny. So I think this is another plot point that they're going to drive through the remainder of the month. And is he going after Alexis through Sunny and Christina somehow?
I honestly, I don't know.
That is my question.
I honestly don't know, but I will say I just need consequences to fall upon Christina.
We really do.
Because I'm like, I do not like the fact that they had brought in the whole car crash storyline and then just toss it out the window being like, yeah, she's not going to get caught. We're not going to throw her in jail. It's like, and it's like, well, granted, the whole Rick part of him getting kidnapped in the ayahuasca thing, that was hilarious, and I love it. But for the most part, I really wanted more to that. And the fact that they're like, yeah, we've kind of thrown that under the bridge. We'll find another way to get her in trouble for that. But it's like, no. Have her arrested. Have that come out. I'm like, I cannot. Like, it's going to suck and it's going to hurt Molly. And I love Molly. But
this is it.
Christina needs to understand that her actions have consequences. And this is one of the other reasons why I like that when Rocco got arrested, that they were like, that Lou had to say, he's like, right now he cannot be your dad, he has to be commissioner.
Yes.
And he cannot,
that was a very good word. Yep.
Yeah, it's like he can't play favorites right now. And I like that because he's like, he's not gonna cut corners for you, he's not gonna give you a slap on the wrist just because you're his kid. Whereas like Nathan and Chase were asking that, it's like, are you sure we should let him go? I'm like, if it was any other kid I would. It's like, he didn't cause any damage. It's like, it's a misdemeanor at most.
Yeah.
So I like that, but with Christina, it's like you have your mom and your dad constantly getting you out of trouble. It's like at some point, and this is the one thing why I really like when it comes to people within law enforcement or the law in of itself. It's like it's such a gray area because I'm like, because you have a parent in this particular profession, you yourself should know it's like you can't be doing A, B, C, X, Y, Z because it reflects badly on them. But also it's like, don't expect them to cut corners for you. Don't expect them to get you off because they're in that place of power. But it's like, but then there was like, oh, my dad's a cop, my mom's a lawyer, da 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 da. It's like, and I'm just like, no. If you because you are in this position of authority, no, your kid does something stupid, they get the consequences. If they decide to go drunk driving, then slap them with a DUI.
Yeah, but that's a parenting thing, and that can apply to any profession. Because I certainly know when y'all were in school, I can't tell you how many times the teachers were tucking tail because parents were hollering whatever, and kids did not have to face consequences. It's tragic, and we see it all through the world. It does not matter, and I don't know that's better or worse when your parent is in the legal profession, but we see it all the time where people are trying to save their kids from stuff. That is not the way to go. And I like that Lulu also said this was a good message that GH put out. Is like, your actions don't only have consequences on you.
It reflects on your grandmother and your father.
But she didn't have to call that out because he himself said that.
No.
Like, I'm worried about how this, grandma in the election and blah, blah,
right.
blah.
He did say it, and then she's like, yeah, like, you have to be careful because it reflects on...
She reinforced it, yeah.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
Like, so...
Yeah. All right. Hero of the week?
I'm just like, a lot of people for Hero of the Week. It's not a singular
Pick one.
person. No, I can't. It's honestly not a singular person because a lot of people did a lot of heroic things this week.
Wait, pick your favorite.
I don't have one.
Okay, fine. Well, I'm gonna call it Gio. Not only for saving his grandfather, but for calling him grandfather, which I don't think he had done when they were face to face having tea.
Nope.
For calling Olivia, not even blinking. For picking up the phone and calling Brooklyn to let her know. For running to Sunny for help.
True. For me in the Gio thing, for still trying to call Brooklyn even though she wasn't picking up. He could.
Yes.
And not just being like,
leaving a message or whatever. Absolutely. But still for Gio, for fighting to protect his brother and having to be told repeatedly, you are an adult, mind your business. It's just going to make the whole thing worse. And in fairness, basically, you were saying there's so many heroes, but that message across the board is like, yes, Rocco was in trouble, but anyhow any of y'all speak your piece. It's not just Rocco in trouble. Now all of y'all in trouble, and in fact, the charges could be raised to conspiracy, blah blah blah. Like,
Yep, and the fact that Gio and Emma though are still gonna go do it is like, but now the question is, will you do it once you find out that Rocco's actually, it's a lot worse for Rocco?
I don't know. Maybe.
I will say though, I don't think I mentioned, no, because it was the start of the week. I like that when Brooklyn found out that Gio had, tried to save Ned, Brooklyn looked over at Gio and just mouthed the words "thank you," and he gave a nod. Olivia, the fact that you tried that you hadn't seen Brooklyn and Brooklyn was in the same house when you got the phone call was
what was that?
I'm like,
what was that about?
I get the house is huge, but you couldn't run down. I was like, Brooklyn. You
don't have an intercom. Pick up a phone as you're on the way. That was bizarre.
I'm like, Olivia,
and you're with Lulu.
I'm like, Olivia, you're Italian. No offense, but Italian. Listen, you could have hollered down that house and she would. The door was open.
How you mean?
Like, holler.
We already know because when they had the thing with Ronnie. And I think it was when Outback grabbed the papers and Drew was hollering. People came from all parts of the house like, what's going on? So
you
don't tell me that.
You could have hollered. She would have heard you.
Lulu could have phoned while they were in the car. We've seen that happen on other episodes. It's like, thank you for calling me from the car, whatever. So yeah, the
fact that y'all couldn't get Brooklyn was just ridiculous.
Agreed, but it was a plot-driven point. So
it also doesn't help because she even said Brooklyn was in the house.
Yeah, maybe we should wait and find out the details. All right.
But also, I will also kind of excuse it because I'm like, you did just get news that your husband had a heart attack.
Sure.
Oh, another thing that did have me a little hot was the fact that, I'm sorry, I know this is almost over. It's just very quick. Is the fact that Portia comes out and says Ned had a heart attack. His arteries are blocked or whatever, and we're waiting to find out. And Britt's like, oh,
make it sassy.
And Britt's like, wait, you said da-da-da-da? She's like, yes. That sounds like a widowmaker. Y'all need to operate immediately. And Portia's like, it's like, no, don't give a look. She's still a doctor. She might not have her license, but she's still a doctor and knows what the hell she's talking about. And the fact that you have to pull her aside and reprimand her, it's like, chill out. She's not insane. Like, and then comes back later.
But
it's like,
to be fair to Portia, which I hate, but really, you want to come with doom and gloom? Like, are you literally seriously? I don't think Portia was wrong. Like, are you trying to scare the people? Then? Oh, it's a widowmaker? Like, would you not want to give them...
So
I know that's the term, but you know what?
But honestly, if you come to me with his atrial artery, blah, 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 is blocked, I'm going to look at you being like...
No, I'm not saying come with... I'm not even
speak
saying...
to me in plain English.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying come to me with the medical terminology.
I hate when they do that.
but don't make it sound dire.
I hate when medical professionals do that.
Because it is one thing to say I have broken my leg. It is a whole other thing to say my bones are in splinters and it's going to have to be reconstructed. It is two different messages. It's the same break. It's two completely different messages, two completely different levels of panic. There's no reason for me to be sitting in the waiting room completely panicked for my person who's in surgery when I could be praying and thinking hopeful thoughts and sending positive vibes. Because there's a lot for positive vibes through the ether.
I understand that. I don't
if I'm too busy sobby, how am I sending those positive vibes? Stop. No, Britt was out of order, out of place for the language she was using.
Okay, the language, sure. But however, her adamancy of you need to get him into surgery and Portia being like,
yes, that she's like, absolutely
can I talk to you for a second? It's like, lady, how about you just actually be the chief of staff and get the man into surgery?
No, but for real, like, how many times you spend a whole lot of time investigating when you need to act?
That's what I'm saying.
So
that is the part that had me vexed with Portia.
Yeah.
The language, I'm like, for me, I'm just like, tell it to me straight. Give me plain English. Don't give me medical terms. And like, if the situation is dire, tell me the situation is dire and I will deal with it accordingly. But
you know what Britt could have done instead? Because she knows she could talk straight to Jason. She could have been whispering in Jason's ear. She is giving you the gears, or she's giving you, soft shoe and whatever. Ask her these questions. She could have done that.
Right. But also the harshness that Portia says, like, you are not a doctor, and was like, okay, that's also out of pocket.
It is.
I know you don't like Britt, but that's out of pocket.
Yep.
But that's...
So, cool.
That is my final rant. That's my final point.
Okay. So you're giving Portia Villain of the Week. Okay. All right. I think that's it.
Seems about it.
All right, then. So, why don't y'all come on back next week for a little more soap?
And hopefully a hell of a lot more sass from people who actually can be sassy and not be rude about it.
Well, I think you got plenty of sass to cover for everybody. So come on back for it.
I think we're back.
Have a great week, y'all.
Bye.